What's up, everybody? And today we're checking out This Plane Doesn't Exist. Aurora Top Secret Spy Plane SR-91. This is by Found and Explained. We've watched a couple of Found and Explained videos in the past. They're really good, very informative. Very excited about this one. I think because we watched, what was it called? The one from the other week. It was the SR-72, was it? Yep, the SR-72 Dark Star. I thought it was super cool. You guys loved it. Getting into the more mysterious, kind of high future tech sci-fi planes. This apparently is even more crazy. The SR-91. Someone sent me this and said, you've got to check this out. It's bizarre. So we're going to watch it. Let's have some fun. I will leave a link like I always do down in the description. If you want to watch the video without me waffling over the top, you can certainly go and do that. There's always that one guy in the comments. Who's that guy in the corner? There's always that one guy. Who's that person chatting? Let it video play. Listen, if you want to watch the video without me chatting over it, go and watch it. This is not the place. This is a video. This is a channel where we watch military content and learn and grow together using my military experience and your military experience, if you've got some, in the comment sections, discussing, having fun, and learning together as a body of men and women, I guess. So yeah, let's enjoy this video. Stay tuned. I might have a big announcement this weekend. Hopefully it happens this weekend. I don't usually put up videos on the weekend, but this is supposed to be finished by this weekend, and I'm very excited. So stay tuned for something really, really cool that I can't wait to show you. Anyway, let's shut up. Let's watch this. Let's find out what's going on with these UFOs.
This plane doesn't exist. It doesn't have the ability to fly beyond Mach 6, nor fly at 135,000 feet, and
Holy.
isn't powered by an incredible pulse wave detonation engine tearing across our sky. After all, according to the US government, this plane isn't real, and this video is just a fantasy. But poring over countless dark websites, I've been able to piece together what this plane may be, why it likely exists, and how terrifying the skies above us really are. This is the top secret, supposedly never built, Aurora Black Triangle.
Okay, let's just preface this. I want to know in the comments section, are you part of the camp that believes that Lockheed Martin and Boeing and all that have UFOs and they're using them to build their own aircraft, right? What's the word called? Someone said it in that previous video. Let me find it real quick. I always forget this word for some reason, and I need to not forget this word. It's called reverse engineering. Are you part of the team that thinks that Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and all these military companies are reverse engineering actual alien aircraft? Or are you on the side that doesn't believe that at all? Because, right, there's part of me that wants to believe it, that thinks it's true, all right? I want to live in the world where there's secret UFOs and we're reverse engineering them. It just sounds cool, doesn't it? I know that if it is true, if you watch the interviews with David Grush and stuff, which, because I'm labeling this off, you know I've been watching these interviews. Let me give you the lowdown. A guy called David Grush came out, former military man, top secret military man, had a really high clearance, was saying that these private companies, Lockheed Martin, I think Boeing, and some other ones, basically have alien aircraft, UFO aircraft, right? And they're reverse engineering them so that they can build their own stuff, right? Now, this is a guy who was up there, top intelligence, had the clearance and all that lot. And the idea is that the way that they're able to keep the secret is that it's not government, it's a private sector, but they're contracted by the government. And it's really obscure. Whether it's true or not is another thing. I want to believe it's true. And part of me kind of does believe it a little bit. Right? But are you in the camp that believes it or thinks it's all rubbish? Let me know, because I want to know your thoughts. Found and Explained, go follow him down below.
At the end of the SR-71 spy plane program in the 90s, the US was left without a new spy plane to operate across the world. The future SR-72 is still decades away, and for the last 30 years, supposedly, the military has flown blind.
With that being said, I think the SR-72 isn't decades away anymore. I think it's pretty close after watching that previous video.
Or have they? There are many reports of strange triangle aircraft flying high above military air bases and across the world that seem to defy modern aviation physics, with abilities to fly faster than anything ever before and seemingly vanish into the clouds.
Yes.
Little is known about this plane, but it is estimated to fly at a top altitude of 135,000 feet. And cruising at around 90,000 feet for operations. At these altitudes, the aircraft would have an incredible speed, easily pushing Mach 6 and tearing across the sky. To reach this pace, it would either have a ramjet or an early scramjet like the proposed SR-72, or it would have a very unique propulsion called the pulse wave detonation engine.
The fact that he's getting into this and he's found this information, I say this YouTube channel, makes me believe that there's a lot more people that believe this than just, oh, there might be a plane out there. Because look at this diagram.
Basically, this crazy idea uses small detonations of fuel to push the aircraft forwards, constantly chain reacting until the plane reaches the required speed.
Wow.
This will result in a very unique contrail of a ring of donuts daisy chaining behind the aircraft, something that I'll get to in a moment.
Whoa.
It is very different from normal engines that we have on aircraft today. You see, all regular jet engines and most rocket engines operate on something called deflagration of fuel. That is the rapid but subsonic combustion of fuel. The pulse detonation engine, however, operates on the supersonic detonation of fuel.
So basically lots of mini explosions making it go faster and faster. I'd be terrified being in that plane if it's doing that.
Because the combustion takes place so rapidly, the charge of a fuel and air mix does not have time to expand during this process, so it takes place under almost constant volume.
Whoa.
Constant volume combustion is therefore more efficient than open cycle designs like gas turbines, which leads to a greater fuel efficiency, as well as a higher top speed. If the aircraft had this engine, it would mean that it could fly high enough to be out of range of any current anti-aircraft defenses, while offering a range considerably greater than of the SR-71.
Do we have any footage of this though? Or is it all just conspiracy? Do we actually have footage of this aircraft? Or like what we think might be the aircraft? Do you know what I mean?
Which required a massive tanker support fleet to use it in operation. This Aurora's mission profile would be mostly spying, used to bridge the gap between spy satellites and slower aircraft or drones.
Yeah.
And speaking of drones, this aircraft would either be a completely autonomous aircraft or piloted by one or two pilots. It's a bit vague as we don't really know for sure, and we also don't know how advanced computer technology for spy planes were back in the early 90s when this was built.
Oh, so it was apparently built in the 90s? I don't know, because we all know that like military tech is like 10 to 20 years more advanced than what you get on Civvy Street, right? It's more advanced than what we're able to get. So like the technology we have on our phones and stuff is 10 to 20 years behind what the military is able to use in certain, applications.
Its skin, made of a special titanium material, would be composed of large panels to reduce the radar profile and to help with heat management flying at such a top speed. It could also have the ability to deploy weapon systems into enemy territory. Whilst these missiles wouldn't have been hypersonic, it would still allow the aircraft to pack a serious punch and get in and out before the enemy could react. So I bet at this point you're asking, gee Nick, this sounds great and all, but do you have any proof?
Yes.
More?
Firstly, I've got a couple questions. One, do they have proof, which is going to get into it? And secondly, if they have something so cool and advanced like this, why are they making the SR-72? Do you know what I mean? Like, if it's this advanced and this good and effective, why even bother with the SR-72, which they're obviously still working on? Do you know what I mean?
Than you can imagine.
They've got more than we can imagine.
By the late 1980s, many experts in the US believed that the government had the capability to develop a Mach 5 hypersonic aircraft. The SR-71 program was winding down, and in order to stay competitive on the world stage, it was essential that the US have a replacement.
Yeah.
By the early 90s, only a few years later, there were multiple sightings of a specific fast, triangle-shaped aircraft that had a very odd-shaped contrail.
Whoa.
One such sighting in 1989, an engineer in the North Sea
1989, though?
witnessed a triangle aircraft refueling from a Boeing Stratotanker. The British government at the time, when it was investigating this report, was told by the US government that no such aircraft existed. Sonic booms were detected across Southern California from 1991 onwards that apparently didn't match any known aircraft, including the SR-71.
This is another reason why the conspiracy of reverse engineering like UFOs could be just advanced tech that the military already has. Like, that's one of the biggest arguments, right? That no, these are obviously not UFOs that the US, that Lockheed Martin and stuff has in the reverse engineering. It's actually just really advanced tech that we're not aware of yet. That's like the biggest argument for it. With that being said, it also could be the whole UFO thing could be like foreigners, like China and Russia using really advanced tech. However, I just don't see them having the capability to have technology that's not as advanced as what the US is using. So I don't really fly with that. Oh, it could be China with the UFO stuff. This was in 1989, 1991. That's a long time ago. I was born in 91 and I'm 30. So it's 32 years ago. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
The researchers picked them up on special earthquake sensors and were able to say that the aircraft flew early in the morning at 90,000 feet at Mach 4 to Mach 5.
Wow.
Then, by 1992, contrails matching the profile of the pulse wave detonation engine started to appear across the sky all over America, along with strange pulsating roars. During one of these events, radio transmissions were detected between a AWACS aircraft and two other unknown aircraft called Dark Star November and Dark Star Mike. Several of these communications mentioned an aircraft flying well above 67,000 feet at a speed truly unfathomable. And finally, we even have actual factual eyewitness accounts. An Area 51 enthusiast called Chuck Clack.
Okay, so here's where we get in the crossover between advanced tech and UFOs, though, because they say a lot of these UFOs that were spotted off the coast of California, and so this is exactly where this is. So it could just be this, all the people that are saying that they see UFOs. But then again, you got the Tic Tac thing, and you got other pilots that are saying that there's legit, like, weird things off the coast that we're not able to explain that goes into the water and stuff like that. Oh, my God. If you want me to make a video on that, then I certainly will.
Claims to have a videotape of the Aurora taking off. He says that one night at 2:30 a.m., after spending 3 days hiding in the mountains above Groom Lake in the middle of the desert, he witnessed the aircraft take off. He said it was 130 feet long and a sharp triangle shape, matching all the other descriptions that we've seen so far. And as for the tape that he apparently recorded, he said that it's locked away. It's a legitimate spy plane.
I never believe people that are like, I've got footage, but I'm not showing anyone. Shut up. Do you know what I mean?
My purpose is not to give away legitimate national defense. Until they get ready to unveil it, I'll probably release the tape. But by 1996, reports of the aircraft seem to vanish, and only small blips have appeared in 2000 in Scotland of strange radar readings.
In Scotland?
Leaving us and the public to wonder, did any of these events ever take place? Not to rain on anyone's parade, but we should also talk about the counterpoints to the existence of this aircraft.
So they're going to get into the counterpoints of it now. I feel, before he gets into it, let me give you my thoughts. I feel like there is a possibility that they were testing something and then ultimately didn't use it. Like, that is massive. That happens all the time in the military, that they test equipment and then don't end up using it. And so that is by far probably the highest likely thing here, that they were testing new equipment. They wanted to see if it was effective, if it was cost effective. And ultimately, after around the 90s, they just kind of said, nah, we're not going to do it. That's my thoughts.
Start by talking about the name. Aurora actually comes from a leaked 1985 budget report as an allocation for $455 million for aircraft construction in the fiscal year of 1987.
Whoa.
Whilst the details were blacked out, the name Aurora remained and fueled speculation of a new code-name spy plane. Reported by Aviation Week, the budget would end up reaching $2.3 billion in fiscal year 1987 and result in the production of several of these Black Op planes.
Whoa.
This, however, was confirmed by an ex-Lockheed employee to be the B-2 stealth bomber aircraft program. That Aurora was the code name for the development of this special plane.
That would make sense, right? It's the triangle shape. But what about the trail of the sonic booms? That's weird, isn't it?
But just because the name doesn't connect, doesn't mean that this plane doesn't exist.
Yeah.
According to the US government themselves, the evidence supporting the Aurora is circumstantial or purely conjecture. There is little reason to contradict the government position. But others are not so convinced. One writer and Black Projects expert Bill Sweetman said, "Does the Aurora exist? Years of pursuit have led me to believe that yes, Aurora is most likely in active development, spurred on by recent advancements that have allowed technology to catch up with the ambition that launched the program a generation ago."
Whoa.
And we know that from the program of the SR-72. That hypersonic technology is now mature and is going to be used in future aircraft designs.
Yeah.
But how would they know if this technology is mature if they didn't have a test aircraft to use it on?
Right.
That expert Bill Sweetman has gone on to say that in 2006 there was a $9 billion budget black hole that has never been attributed to any existing Air Force program.
$9 billion, just like, yeah, it's gone somewhere. $9 billion with a B. Jesus.
Including the B-2 bomber. Perhaps that's where our mystery Aurora spy plane is today. I'll leave it up to you in the comments, and if you watch this video and one day it's gone, along with my channel, then you know that perhaps I got a little bit too close to the truth. Special thanks to my Patreons who supported me, and
Great video, as always, by Found and Explained. I will leave a link down below to the original channel. I read a book not long ago. Where is it? Where is it? Encounters by D.W. Pasulka. She was a lady. She was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and it's a UFO style, book, because I'm kind of into that stuff, and I don't really tell people on the channel. I'm kind of into the whole UFO thing, and her story is fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Again, if you wanna read it, it's called Encounters by D.W. Pasulka, Pasulka. Really good book. I really enjoyed it. I feel like there is definitely something. There's too much evidence to show that there isn't something going on. Whether it's high tech, whether it's testing technology, whether it is UFOs, and David Grush is right, and he's done all that stuff. Whether it's reverse engineering, or whether it's all just different tech again being tested, we'll never know. But I think it's super interesting, and I'd love to know your thoughts. I'd love to know where you stand on that thought process of, are you believing that this is just tech, the tested, and that's it? Do you believe that they're reverse engineering UFOs? Are you on that side? Do you believe that this plane is real? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to know your thoughts, and maybe we'll make more videos on these kind of more speculative aircraft, because I think this is really fun to do. I'll leave a link down below to the original video, and have a great weekend. I'll see you on Monday, potentially, unless I make the big announcement this weekend. Turn on notifications. I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.